I have a question about passive income, and
Okay.
I want to know what kind of trends do you see for a person interested in that?
How are you thinking about, when you say passive income, do you mean what do you mean?
I mean, not having to work all day long. I want to be on a beach in Mexico instead of being on an office in Sweden in cold November.
Are you being serious right now? The quickest way to not be on a beach in Mexico is to think that passive income exists. It's a bad mindset. I really believe that. I think the reason so many scumbuckets are making so much money is because you're buying stupid fucking courses over and over, thinking there's some fucking magic formula for passive income.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not listen to what I'm about to tell you, you're going to be left behind in the millennial revolution that is coming, and you need to understand you need to work hard at smart things. As Warren Buffett says, if you work for money, you work till the day you die, and we do not work for money to buy things. We work for money to buy time, to spend time with the people we love and cherish and the experiences we wish to have before we leave our time on this organic spaceship hurtling through space and time continuums and no idea what we're doing here. But this is going to be a good educational video for you guys, and this is why I'm about passive income, so let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors. Like today is going to be a fun video because I strictly want to talk about passive income sources and things that are so potentially exploding for you. If you just take the time to learn these the way I have, I think it can change the way you think about your entire life and building towards your financial independence, retire early journey, guys. And I can't say thanks enough for all of you being here. You need to slap a like. You guys have changed my life, literally, and I'm hoping I'm helping change yours a little bit as well. So let's start from the very top for the ones that we are all well aware of, and these are the ones that I personally love the most. That's why I've highlighted them with the three little tags, the little star notes, so you understand stocks, guys. We all know stocks, stock market investing, this, that. What most people don't understand about the stock market is it represents the entire economy as a whole. When you learn to understand how the stock market works, you will begin to understand why they're taking oil tankers in Iran and they're blowing them up and they're taking them hostage. Like, until you understand how the stock market works, you will not understand why countries do what they're doing, why there is what we call a, I remember years ago when I was growing up and I was always told that the next war that's going to happen isn't going to be over bombs and guns, it's going to be over money. Sure enough, Trump and China, guys, and the tariff wars are beginning as China wants to become the dominating currency power. And I mean, you could try to tell that anybody, but everyone thought a nuclear apocalyptic moment was going to happen, but really it's just a currency war. But that's why you have to understand the stock market, guys. And there's so many benefits that the government offers you today with tax-free savings account, RRSPs you can draw against to buy real estate. You need to learn this to some extent. You do not have to be great at it. You can set it up so it's passive and you automatically get money taking out of your savings account every month, gets put into your investment account and auto invests into a stock you enjoy, like a Vanguard index fund. So you're actually going to be able to own an economy as a whole, like the entire US economy. You could just buy into that and you would have never lost money over a 20-year time period, making stocks one of my favorite ways of passive income. Number two is the one that I'm becoming the most obsessed with because I think it has the most reach for potential and getting me to my FIRE journey faster, which is buying online businesses. I'm sitting here trying to grow this YouTube channel and I'm hoping I can turn this into something and educate more people, especially here in Canada where there is a lack of this information. But buying online businesses allows you to do two things. Defer the income you make if you can make enough in a year to buy a business, because essentially you're just going to write it off as a business expense and it's going to increase your cash flows immediately. And when you're buying online business, it is the same thing as buying real estate. When you Google search terms, there's something called Google search terms. So let's say you need to learn why your dog sheds. You go online, you're like, why is my puppy shedding? And there's going to be a bunch of links. And then you might click those links and they said, oh, but these products can really help, or this can help. And you're going to see all these kind of affiliate links on these websites. And you're going to click through them and you might buy something because you've been looking for something. You're buying for the real estate of that tag word. So those top few things that pop up on Google, those top few things that pop up on Amazon when you're searching backpacks or shirts or whatever, whoever owns those top links, I guarantee you are making a killing. And that is what you're buying. You're not buying an online business for the Facebook page, or for the website. You're literally buying it for the online real estate that Google offers, because the potential income that creates is exponential, and it is one of the most passive ways to make money, making it my number two favorite way of currently trying to generate passive income. It's my most focused on anyways. Now, number 3 is real estate. So when you first get into real estate, it's going to be the biggest headache of your life. You got to get approved for mortgages. Chances are going to need a cosigner. On top of that, you're probably going to be starting with a piece of junk because if you're like me, you're a first-time home buyer, and God knows, beggars can't be choosers. So I mean, I'm stuck playing in a very small realm, but what it's going to do is, sure, it's going to be a headache in the beginning. It's going to be a nightmare, maybe trying to get it even rented out. Who knows the challenges that are going to come up with that? All I can do is educate myself enough to try and make it work. Now, the problem is in the beginning, the percentages really suck. But the thing that gets the benefit going down the road is as the mortgage comes down, you start building equity in the property, which is going to allow you to buy more properties down the road and also allow you to take a line of credit, which would also allow you to buy more businesses. So the idea is you want a piece of property to get leverage. It's the only way I look at property because trying to get into the real estate game today is very, very, very hard. It is not easy, especially when you're like me and you don't have money. But now that the government's willing to buy you real estate, you'd honestly be an idiot not to take advantage of it. In Canada, I'm not going to get into that yet. That program doesn't come out till September. I've talked about it in the past, but that makes it why it is my number 3 favorite way of generating passive income if you can come up with a down payment and if you think you know what you're doing enough to pull that off. Whether I don't care if it's single family, if you're trying to do what Grant Cardone's doing, maybe you just want to give Grant Cardone your money, but then you're dealing with an LLC. So just remember, you don't actually own any real asset that you can use to leverage into anything. It's just an investment. Remember that. So you really want to own something, and it doesn't matter what it is, so long as you pay attention to make the right decisions and just educate yourself and do it properly by paying attention to flood zones, making sure you look into the entire towns. Every town has a goal, what they want to see with that town over time, and sometimes it might be building a road right through where you live. So there might be a highway coming right near you live at some point in the next 10, 20 years. You have to pay attention to all of that as well. There's a lot that goes into that, guys, but I would consider it one of the best ways for passive income because it gives you leverage, it gives you respect, and it'll help you get farther ahead in your life. I honestly believe it should always be part of everybody's portfolio. Now, this is one that I should have wrote something else down here with Lending Club. If you don't know what Lending Club is, guys, it's essentially just a stupid online thing where you can just loan money to really bad creditors that usually default to some extent, and your rate of return sucks. You can't pull money out of this right away. It's really a terrible asset class, but what I want to talk about is maybe doing private loans. Okay, so private loans are going to give you an upside because with private loans you can look into people buying like on a second or third home. You can usually make between 8 to 12% on these loans. So even though you can even borrow money, people are taking loans out against their homes to do second and third mortgages because essentially if those people default on that loan, you actually have an asset backing that loan. So when the property gets liquidated, if the person doesn't make the loan payments, then you're going to end up getting some of your money back no matter what. It's a much safer way, in my opinion, than dealing with something like Lending Club. But let's move on to Fundrise, guys. Fundrise I have nothing against. It's kind of similar to the LLC thing that Grant Cardone is using. So with that, if you live in the US, guys, these things can be amazing. Like Fundrise, essentially it's just a private real estate portfolio that allows you to diversify into many real estate with smaller amounts of money. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing if you live in the US, guys, because for Canadians, you get the infamous double tax. That's the other problem with Grant Cardone's fund. Anytime you're dealing with LLCs or private real estate companies that are leveraging you into properties, you don't get the same benefits if you own the property. And especially if you are a foreign buyer, you don't get the tax benefits you would get just by buying a property under your own name. There is a lot of taxation that comes into these guys, so you got to be careful with that. REITs usually count as just regular income, so it gets taxed as regular income, and as Canadians, you have to pay a withholding tax to the US, and then you have to pay the infamous double tax because when it gets here, you also have to pay income tax on top of that, making it a very challenging investment for anybody on the Canadian side of the border. But in the US, guys, I would consider looking at it. It's a really unique way to buy individual deals and kind of diversify a REIT portfolio in a custom way. I think it's awesome. I actually really like the idea of it. I just wish I could get involved, but I can't. The next thing, guys, is Airbnbs. Oh my goodness. If you do not know this, my God, go educate yourself for bloody sakes. This is probably one of the most brilliant things I've seen lately. And these people are, if you don't know what Airbnb is, well, you shouldn't even be watching this video, all right? Airbnb is a private rental thing. Obviously, everyone knows about it. You can rent out your home if you're not there and people can come stay there, whatever. You use it like a private hotel, whatever. Anyways, the way people have been using this to generate passive income is they've literally, and what I'm saying, these are all passive income ideas, guys. I mean, these are all things that once you put the work in, you don't have to anymore. There's a means to an end always with this stuff. So essentially now we're going to look at the Airbnbs because what you can do is you can approach people that are tired of dealing with tenants, people that are tired of dealing with management, and they're sick of not being able to deal with tenants. And and you can offer them more money than they're already going to want for rent, and you're going to be able to pocket a lot of money on top of that. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you need to Google Airbnb challenges and how people are actually finding ways to literally basically manage real estate they don't own and make a ridiculous income almost passively, because there's so many management companies that can deal with this once you get 5 or 6 deals set up. And this is an idea I've been considering time and time again. The problem is it might interrupt a 2-year plan that I have going on right now. Honestly, what I thought was going to take me 8 years, guys, is probably only going to take me 2 years, and I'll get more into that in a later video. I don't think people understand how fast some of this stuff can accumulate, especially with the right education, guys. You gotta educate and invest into your own knowledge. Actually, it's the most passive income you're ever gonna make. Invest into your own goddamn knowledge, guys. Like, I'm glad if you're watching this video, but slap a like, because you're doing something amazing for yourself. It bothers me how much people do not take the time to educate themselves on what is going on today, because honestly, guys, I'll get back to my main point that I did at the beginning with the millennial thing, and you know how millennial. Okay, I'll come back to that, but let's finish this up here real quick. So, Airbnb, it's actually up there. I should have started. This might be one of the best ideas today you can get involved with. Well, all of these really are, but that's another amazing one. If you don't know about it, look into it. Now, small business, if you can start a small business that can come up in a way where you can hire some management for it, that would be the ideal situation. But just doing any small business at all whatsoever, even if it requires your time, make sure you love it. It's something you're passionate about, and it'll feel passive no matter what, because it doesn't matter how hard or how much you spend or work on it. It won't bother you. It's like I'm a full-time magician. If you didn't know that, guys, and it doesn't, like, it's just my job and I love it and I'll do it senselessly. It's something that makes me happy. So, I mean, I consider that passive income no matter what, because it's just something that'll be a part of me forever. So let's take a quick peek here, guys. So the other thing that I'm going to mention is with a small business, maybe you should look into web development. To put it for an example, when I was working on promoting my show, I was partnering with some businesses in the local areas, and I had to go on their websites to send them emails. And a lot of these people live in crazy nice areas running really professional businesses, but their websites are an absolute disaster. So there is an endless stream of funds that you could do to get into online websites. You don't have to be localized. You can do it at home. You can set these people up. You can charge them less than somebody else might, and try and show them a way they can make money. Introduce them to AdSense. Say, look, I'll set up your website for free. I'll show you how good it can be. Like, do something better than somebody else isn't going to do, and understand that after you're done all that initial work of just getting those clients, start charging them later after you've helped them. Give value first, and then ask for money, and make sure you give twice the amount of value in return for what you're asking, guys, because it's not going to have people sticking around, guys. You want to treat people nicely. You want to give them the respect they deserve, and you want to show them that their business can be worth more than they intended to be. So now, realtor license, that probably goes in again with a small business. I don't know why I put this in here. These last two are kind of funny, but let's just say, like, realtor license, guys, is another thing, but it requires a little bit more work. Some of it's a little bit more stressful. I don't know why. Let's cross that one out. Getting a realtor license, I don't think really is that passive. It's just commission based. You tend to make more money, but you have to put a lot of work up front. I don't consider that passive. The reason I put that on there was because I almost want to get my realtor license so I can start looking at properties. If you are not in the game where people are coming to you with their deals, they might take them before you do. So you got to be a little careful with that as well. Now, I put garage flipping, and what I mean by garage flipping is anything to do with flipping anything. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's stuff at a garage sale. The reason you do garage flipping is the same reason Gary Vee is out on the street, guys, because the rate of return is so much higher and so much more passive than anything else you're going to do. There's a YouTuber I watch that flips watches almost for a living. There's people I watch that flip cars for a living. Flipping is easy because you understand value in something people don't. So what you can do is use your knowledge and that understanding of that, whatever it is, and find the value, and then you just basically make a deal, which doesn't take a lot of time, and then it sits passively until someone buys it. And usually the rate of return, again, is a lot less work for a lot higher rate of return, which is what I would consider passive income. Gary Vee recently made a video. I'm not going to go and find it. I don't want to batter the guy. I don't want to cause any issues. The problem with Gary Vee is the idea. I was watching a video where he was battering a guy that said, oh, how do you get passive income? How do you make it so I can sit on the beach but still get paid? And Gary Vee just kind of battered him and said, get that dream out of your head. It's stupid. It's this. It's like, the way he went about it was so convoluted, because I feel like Gary Vee lives in this world where, like, he can always find a way to see something that is wrong in his own world, but I don't think it was the right answer for this guy. So I wanted to make this video specifically because of that video that I watched. I want people to understand that you need to realize there are ways to buy time. And because we're not buying time to sit on a beach, that is what you have to understand. You can sit on a beach. You could run a YouTube channel. I know people that swing trade stocks that travel the world, and that's all they do for a living. they just live abroad and they swing trade stocks because they can do it anywhere in the world. That is what I would consider a way of passive income to buy you some time, because again, it's usually a little more passive and you can literally do it anywhere in the world, guys. Don't let somebody tell you can't, because you probably have family, you probably have some goals or initiatives or something you want to do with somebody, and what you can do is work really, really hard today. Put in the time today, invest the time today, guys, to find something that will work for you in one of these classes, and then essentially just keep hammering it for some years, guys. Give it 10 years, give it 15 years, just keep finding ways to build on it. It might not even take that long, guys. Like I said, I am shocked at how far I've come in a measly 5 or 6 years. It's honestly staggering if you just start. You just have to start paying attention to this stuff, and the fact that you're watching this video already means you're gonna be fine. Like, let's be real. If you're sitting here with me, guys, I'm not trying to be cocky about this, but if you just take the time to pay attention to this stuff, it will change your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't say thanks enough to all my 500 subscribers. You guys have been absolutely amazing on this journey and this ride, and I hope you consider subscribing if you haven't already, to stick around for my own personal fire journey as I update you guys all along the way. So stay cool, stay awesome. I hope you learned something today, guys. I look forward to chatting to you real soon. What did you think I forget? Man, this is the millennial revolution, guys. The reason I said that at the beginning of this video is because you can't live today when the world is turning into this. The world is becoming more and more passive. Things are becoming more and more automated. And if you do not join the side of automation, you are going to be left behind, guys. Because like Warren Buffett said, man, if you work for money, you will be working until the day you die.